Michelle just made racist America pay for slavery for what she was forced to endure as First Lady. After suffering for 8 years under the disgusting antics of the most anti-American first family in United States history, we had all hoped that the Obamas would slip into obscurity never to be heard from again. But after draining our country dry with their lavish vacations to the tune of over $100 million and using their political positions to crap talk our country for almost a decade, the Obamas are back with their antics in full force. And the ridiculous allegations Michelle Obama is making about Americans is so outrageous, it will make you even more furious this woman was ever given the opportunity to represent the very same country that she so vehemently despises after being dethroned by the Trumps at the White House. Queen Michelle is trying desperately to maintain her relevance in American society, which is proving just like her school lunch programs, to be a massive failure. After failing miserably with her attempts to convince the world that she was America's sex symbol, in recent weeks, Michelle is back with her antics, this time taking a direct swipe at the American people with a sickening sob story about how the American people treated her like a black slave during her time as First Lady. Speaking to a crowd of about 8,500 at the Women's Foundation of Colorado's 30th anniversary event in Denver, Michelle whined about her horrific experience as America's first black lady, claiming Americans only saw her for the color of her skin. The shards that cut me the deepest were the ones that intended to cut, Obama said, knowing that after 8 years of working really hard for this country, there are still people who won't see me for what I am because of my skin color. It's funny how Michelle wants to whine about Americans being racist towards her, when she is the biggest racist on the face of the planet. As a student at Princeton University, her entire thesis was written to bash white people, where pages of radically charged paragraphs were composed to slander the white faculty members and the entire university, that she claimed was specifically designed to cater to the needs of white students. Or who can forget Michelle's disgusting race-baiting commencement speech at the all-black Tuskegee University, where she droned on about how white so black America for slavery, harping on white racism where she brought up sob stories about whites always assuming she was the help and questioned her intelligence, rather than using her position as the first black First Lady to bring racial unity and healing. Her divisive speech was completely catered to blacks, where she warned the black students they had a lifetime of hardship on the horizon due to the blatant racism that exists in America by whites. Instead they will make assumptions about who they think you are based on their limited notion of the world, Michelle whined. And my husband and I know how frustrating that experience can be. We've both felt the sting of those daily slights throughout our entire lives. The folks who crossed the street in fear of their safety, the clerks who kept a close eye on us in all those department stores, the people at formal events who assumed we were the help, and those who have questioned our intelligence, our honesty, even our love of this country. It can feel isolating. It can make you feel like your life somehow doesn't matter. They're rooted in decades of structural challenges that have made too many folks feel frustrated and invisible. And those feelings are playing out in communities like Baltimore and Ferguson and so many others across this country. Apparently Michelle forgets that her husband wouldn't have been even elected as president twice had it not been for the white voters who went out in droves during both the 2008 and 2012 elections, gaining more votes than cracker white Bill Clinton. And yet Michelle feels the need to get on her high horse and whine about white racism holding her back. Are you freaking serious? After 8 years in the White House living life like a queen, vacationing around on the taxpayer's dime, millions of white taxpayer dollars I might add, Michelle still feels like she suffered as First Lady. It just goes to prove that no matter what opportunity and opulent life this ungrateful woman is given, of the fact that she's raking in millions with her post-White House speeches, the Obamas will always be incessant in their goals to demonize the white race and crap talk the very country who gave them everything in life.